Stupid comedy stuff. Stupid comedy stuff. Stupid comedy stuff. Stupid comedy stuff. Oh yeah!
Hello, welcome to Stupid Comedy Stuff. I'm your host, Emma Katz, and I'm a stand-up comedian in Austin, Texas, and this is a podcast about stupid comedy stuff. So thank you for joining me. This is actually the first full episode, so I'm really excited and nervous to be doing this. And today we're going to be talking about the movie Eurotrip. Do you guys remember that movie, Eurotrip? It's a millennial classic. So I will let you know that I am actually not wearing a bra today, which I do feel is appropriate for a discussion of the film Eurotrip. That's not because I'm a young, sexy, nubile college co-ed. It's because I am a 41-year-old perimenopausal middle-aged woman, and I've had to turn my air conditioner off to record this because I can't afford to have any background noise. So I'm sweating like a pig. No bra for me, but figured I'd mention that, just seemed appropriate for the subject matter at hand. I did want to talk about this movie. I just got a little bit fixated on it recently, and the reason for that is kind of stupid, funny, appropriate for this podcast. My husband and I recently watched the movie Fargo, and in that movie, William H. Macy's son is named Scottie. And the movie ends with Scottie never finding out, that his dad is a criminal and his mom is dead. So this is just the kind of lowbrow, nincompoop I am. I just started going, Scottie doesn't know, Scottie doesn't know. And yeah, I'm the kind of person who conflates Fargo with the Eurotrip, but it got me curious, and it made me want to rewatch Eurotrip. I think the first time I saw this movie, I was in college. I graduated high school in 2003, and the kids in this movie graduated in 2004, which is when the movie came out. So we're around the same age. I actually went to Europe myself in 2007, la-di-da. But, so it was a little bit after. It wasn't exactly like a post-high school thing. It was a study abroad thing, which, gosh, just gets hoitier and toitier. But as I was saying, the first time I saw this movie, pretty sure was in college, was drunk, would stake some confidence on that. And, I found this quote from one of the filmmakers, this filmmaker, David Mendel. In an interview, he said, "In a weird way, that's what we were setting out to do with the whole movie. Somewhere, some young, drunk person is enjoying some form of Eurotrip." And, ding, 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 hit the nail right on the head, but certainly when he's, in my case. But this movie was created by three individuals, Alec Berg, David Mendel, and Alex Schaefer. They co-wrote and directed the movie together, although Schaefer is the only one to get the directing credit. The Directors Guild wouldn't let them share it, so they picked his name out of the hat, and he was the lucky winner who got to be the official director. And the three of them met at Harvard, and they wrote on Seinfeld together, and then they made this movie together. And they said that apparently their goal with making this movie was to create a film that the type of movie that they would have snuck down into their basement to watch as kids, like a Porky's or a Revenge of the Nerds. And I think they pretty much nailed that aesthetic with Eurotrip. I mean, boobs and wieners are flying everywhere. And what's more, they got Ivan Reitman as a co-producer on this film. Now, I mean, in addition to being a Hollywood legend, Ivan Reitman was also a producer on Animal House, which, we can probably say is like the granddaddy master of this genre. And, you know, I guess they kind of had some tension on the set. You know, Reitman wanted to direct and maybe kind of take over the, you know, the creative direction of the movie. Wasn't really happy with the final cut. Sounds like neither was the studio. They changed the title. The original title of this movie was Ugly Americans, which I really like, you know, especially these days. I feel like that would be a very fitting title for this movie, considering current European-American relations. So it was called Ugly Americans, but they changed it to Eurotrip because DreamWorks, they wanted to capitalize on the success of Road Trip, the film with Tom Green that had come out in 2000. And I will admit, as a kid, the scheme, it worked on me. I was like, wow, is this a sequel to Road Trip? Where's Tom Green? You know, couldn't they afford him anymore? I don't know. But you know, needless to say, Eurotrip was not nearly as commercially successful as Road Trip was in the theater. However, it did find some cult success on DVD. It was released in an unrated version, you know, significantly more nudity. Who doesn't love that? And a lot of its cult success had to do with Scottie Doesn't Know, the song, which ended up being a Billboard Hot 100 chart song in 2006. So want to recap the movie for you today, share some fun facts with you, and let's dive right in.
Oi, the bloody hell are you?
We're from Ohio.
Stop. Hammer time.
He's a magic one.
I am freaking out. I'm here.
Let us make love for 1 whole month. Mi bello, mi bello.
Mi bello.
Oh, mi scusi.
No actual Europeans were harmed in the making of this
The movie
film.
opens and we meet our hero, Scottie Thomas. He's played by Scott Mechlowitz, a very charming actor. This is his first movie, if you can believe it. And when we see Scottie, he is graduating high school. We're in Hudson, Ohio, but we're not really in Hudson, Ohio. We're actually in Prague, Slovakia, or Prague, Czech Republic, excuse me. The whole movie was filmed in Prague, except for the nude beach scene, which we will address later on. So when we see Scottie, he is graduating high school, and also he is being dumped by his girlfriend, Fiona. Fiona is played by the actress Kristen Kruk. Now, Kristen is best known for her role on the WB drama Smallville. And I thought, I'm just bringing this up because I read a New York Times review of the movie when it came out. I thought this was kind of funny. They don't even bring up her name. They just say she's played by an actress who looks like she stepped off the set of Smallville. And I was like, do they not know that she's actually in Smallville? Like NYT, come on. I mean, are they like, you know, it's just another woman ruining the workplace, so, you know, whatever. Who cares? Anywho, you know, all I really know about her is that she would have been really into Nexium cult at this time, or around this time. So I wonder if there was any whisperings on set. But anyway, not going to start any scandalous rumors. So Fiona's breaking up with Scottie. Scottie is heartbroken. He is crying in all of his family pictures. Next scene, he is in his bedroom back home. He's with his best friend, Cooper. Cooper's played by the actor Jacob Pitts. Jacob Pitts has been in a couple things that I really enjoy. He was in the cult TV show, cult Comedy Central TV show, Strangers with Candy, which is just one of my all-time favorites. You know, you should really look it up if you've never seen it before. And he was also on an episode of Sex and the City, he played Sam Jones, the male Sam Jones, who fucked Samantha Jones. Just a fantastic premise for an episode, if you ask me. So yes, he plays Scottie's best friend, Cooper. So in the scene, they're in Scottie's bedroom. Scottie is moping. He's super depressed about Fiona breaking up with him. And he starts telling Cooper about a German pen pal that he has named Mika. Now, Scottie refers to Mika as Mike because he translates Mika to Mike, as the English version of Mika. And Cooper is a little apprehensive about this. He warns him, hey, you may want to not really be emailing with this person, this guy. This may be a creep. This might be a predator. Like, what if he asks you to meet up? What if he has like nefarious intentions? I'm cleaning up the language here. That this is the early 2000s, and is a very homophobic time. But like, I think you understand. And so Scottie is kind of, but he takes it under advisement. So they have that discussion about Mika. Next scene, big graduation party. Scottie and Cooper ready to let loose, try and forget about Fiona, or so they think, right? So they're at this party, and they run into a pair of twins that they go to high school with, that they're friends with. These twins are named Jamie and Jenny. Jamie is played by the actor Travis Wester, and Jenny is played by the late, great Michelle Trachtenberg. Now, I want to share something about her because she's in this movie, Eurotrip. Michelle Trachtenberg's dad was apparently from Germany and her mom was from Ukraine. And she actually learned to speak Russian, not for this movie, but for a movie where she played Lee Harvey Oswald's wife. How stinking cool is that? Just what an awesome, awesome lady. She is sorely missed. But, another little thing I want to add about this scene, there is a hot tub scene nested within this party scene that I do not want to get into. Please Google Eurotrip hot tub scene at your own leisure. But suffice it to say, the New York Times review of this film calls Jacob Pitts a 2-bit David Spade, which is a harsh burn, but I will say, he is pretty Spadey in this movie. Just look at that hot tub scene. Yeah, you'll see what I'm talking about. Anywho, so the Scottie and Cooper, they're talking to the twins. The twins say they're planning to go to Paris. They're traveling through Europe for the summer before they go to college, starting with Paris. Jenny, Michelle Trachtenberg, is hoping to meet a handsome European man while she's there. She's heard about someone who went off to Europe and met a man and then sailed around the Mediterranean with him. Cooper very helpfully adds, "Oh, that sounds kind of gay," and Jenny has to say, "I'm a girl," setting off a running joke throughout the film that she's just one of the guys, and especially has to remind Cooper that she is, in fact, a girl, which, the kind of amateurish homophobic joke, but period-specific joke aside, I do think that it's kind of, I will give 3 male writers a little bit of credit for writing a female character who is, because this is a familiar sort of position. I've been in this position. I know, I'm sure a lot of my girlfriends have been in this position. So it does ring authentic in some sort of way. But anywho, they're at this party. The party's going on. Scottie's there to forget about Fiona, right? But the band starts playing, and who shows up as the lead singer of the band but Goodwill Hunting himself? He's got a shaved head and piercings everywhere, barely recognizable, but Mr. Matt Damon himself. Very, very well-known, famous cameo. So he gets up there and he starts singing the song Scottie Doesn't Know. Fiona also joins him to just, grind in the humiliation. A couple of interesting things about this scene. So it turns out Matt Damon was able to do the cameo because he, one, was friends with the filmmakers. They all went to Harvard together. there's that blue blood connection again. And 2, he was in Prague where they were filming the movie. He was doing Brothers Grimm. So therefore he was available to do this cameo. Also, the song, Scottie Doesn't Know. Like I said, it ended up becoming a hit later on. It, charted on the Billboard Hot 100. So this song, it was not being sung by Matt Damon. It is in fact performed by the band Lustra. I'm not quite sure. But they are from Boston. Also Harvard alumni, friends with filmmakers and Matt Damon. And I thought this, guys, this is really interesting. I pulled this quote out from the bassist Nick Cloutman from an interview that he gave. I thought this was really interesting. He said, I already had the annoying riff to the song lying around. I was like, should I do something with this? But I don't know what. If you can imagine it slowed way, way down in my head, it always sounded like New Order. New Order. Can you imagine Fiona Doesn't Know is like a New Order song? Like, how does it feel to watch me fuck Fiona? I can't imagine it. I mean, thank goodness they went with the original, but so moving along, the next scene is in Scottie's bedroom. He is drunk from the party. He's checking his email and he gets a flirtatious email from Mika. What the email says, Mika has gotten his message that Fiona broke up with him and wants to arrange a meeting. Scottie has a moment of gay panic. Let's just call a spade a spade. And he freaks out and he says, absolutely not. What Cooper's told him is going through his head. He's like, he writes this email back to Mika right away. He goes, stay away from me, you sick German freak. I'd never want you to talk to me again. He sends the email. So the next morning, he wakes up. He's severely hungover. He looks up and sees that his little brother, Bert, is fucking around on his computer. And that's just so like a little brother. I mean, yeah, I have a little brother. I can testify to that. So his brother's reading his email and he says, oh, I can't believe you got this email from this hot chick who wants to come see you. And Scottie's like, what are you talking about? Mika's a guy. And Bert's like, no, you idiot. It says right here, I'm such a sad girl. So, and then Scottie says, no, I have a picture. And so this is where we see Mika, the real Mika, for the first time. Scottie shows Bert a picture of Mika, two people. There's a man and a woman. He says that Scottie tells Bert that the man is Mika and the woman is Jan, Mika's cousin. Bert says to Scottie, no, you idiot. The man is Jan, a man's name, and the woman is Mika, a woman's name, similar to our Michelle. The man in this picture is dorky. He's got high-waisted pants, glasses, just a classic dork. The woman is an Aphrodite. She is blonde, curvaceous, blue-eyed, porcelain skinned, just the picture of Romanesque beauty, or I should say an Aryan ideal perhaps. And let me just say that Mika is played by Jessica Bors, the actress Jessica Bors. She's a German actress. I'm gonna share more about her later, but this is the first time we see her. And so also wanted to share a little bit more about the actor playing Scottie's brother. Now, his name, probably going to say this wrong. I'm going to try, but his name is Niall Ishkhakov. I think I got it. And he's from Uzbekistan. That blew me away, you guys, when I found out that he was from Uzbekistan. I mean, that kid is doing a flawless American accent, for the most part. And then I read here, there's this quote from Alec Berg that said, the reason that they hired him is that they would have had to pay an American actor something like $20,000 just for one word of dialogue. But with him, they ended up paying him $150. And they had a running joke on the set as a burt became a unit of currency. So like, how many burts will it take to put a sign on the wall? Oh, that's 6 burts. I don't think we can afford that. I was just like, are you guys really making a joke at the expense of like a child actor who you lowballed from the former Soviet Republic of Uzbekistan? Like, come on. I mean, yeah, I guess that is what's happening. As we move on, Scottie tries to email Mika again. He realizes he's blocked by her. He tells Cooper what's happened. He's freaking out. So Cooper says, look, why don't you just fly to Berlin? That's where Mika lives. Let's go there. Let's go meet her, and you can explain what happened in person. So they get ready to go to Europe. So they get to Europe by becoming couriers. They fly to London first because there's nothing available to Berlin. We don't ever find out what they're couriering, but they just get cheap flights as couriers. When they get to London, we first see them in front of Big Ben, and Cooper gets a call from his job. There's a running joke through the movie that he's working at a summer internship, but he's not really there. He's just kind of got them on the run. So he gives them some bullshit and hangs up. Then they book a bus to Berlin for the next day, have a night to kill, and so they decide to go to a pub. And they walk into a local pub. Unfortunately for them, it's a pub that belongs to a football organization of fans of the Manchester United. And they come face to face with a very aggressive, very big, very angry man who's played by the British actor Vinnie Jones. And Vinnie Jones used to be a football player himself. And he actually, of course, looked him up. He played on a number of football teams, but not Manchester United, interestingly. But yeah, so they come face to face. They are on the precipice of being beaten up, but they're able to convince the football hooligans that they are fans of Manchester United by singing a Sheena Easton song. And so they get piss drunk, blackout. The next day, they wake up on a double-decker bus to Paris. And they're going to a Manchester United game. So they realize that they've missed their opportunity to go to Berlin and need to quickly regroup. So Scottie comes up with the idea to get in touch with the twins, Jamie and Jenny, since they are in Paris. And he uses Cooper's cell phone to call Jenny and gets in touch with them. So once they reach Paris, they separate themselves from the football hooligans, pardon me, and they meet up with the twins. So once they get there, that's where we learn that Jamie, the boy twin, is obsessed with his Leica camera and his Frommer's guidebook. These are the two most important things that he's brought on the trip with him. He also carries all of the money and the passports in a under the body wallet clip that he keeps on his person and gets made fun of for by Cooper, even though it's really a good idea, but anyway. So they meet up in Paris. They decide to go to the Louvre first, although once they get there, the line is considerable. It's like waiting for a taco in Austin. So while they're waiting in line, they see a robot. And what I mean by a robot is like a street performer. When I was there, I'm no expert, but there were several of these in Europe, like just people that were wearing face paint and costumes, and they would either stand still, perhaps dressed like Roman statues or mermaids or what have you, and they would just stand on the street, and you would give them money or take pictures with them. It's just a busking endeavor. So that's what this guy is. He's a French robot, and so Scottie sees him, and they start kind of making fun of him and teasing him, and this escalates into Scottie fighting with the robot. This is one of the more famous scenes in this film. And what I found out about this is that Scott Mechlowitz, the actor, actually took a mime class, and so that's why his little, robot moves are so on point. And furthermore, he was trained by the actor that played Barney the dinosaur. I mean, can you believe that? What a strange detail. So the fight ends with Scottie kicking the robot in the balls. So I guess you could say, like, he doesn't love him. He doesn't love yes. Sorry, that was terrible. So.
Guys, go. Bull. Error.
They leave Paris without going into the Louvre. They're at the train station. They're about to leave. The boys are on the train when Jenny meets a man, a handsome European man, who sweeps her off her feet. Just the very thing she was describing at the graduation party, right? It's this man named Christoph. He seemingly like pops up out of nowhere and just approaches her, and he's like, "Hello, Jennifer. Can I woo you?" Basically like, yeah, it's just like the most ridiculous, like Danielle Steely sort of thing ever. He kind of looks like a more Italian John Stamos. But yeah, so he like kisses her hand, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, like I wish I could stay, but my train is leaving. I have to go." And so she leaves, and she says goodbye, and she says hopefully she'll see him again. So they're on the train, and then so they're in this train compartment, and what follows next is one of the most well-known scenes in the movie, apart from the robot fighting scene. They're in the train compartment, and the door opens, and in comes a man dressed in a tan suit and a salmon tie with a matching pocket square. He comes in and he says, "Buongiorno," and it's a very young Fred Armisen. And so, he squeezes himself right between Jamie and Cooper. And every time their train goes through a tunnel, he just gets more and more, handsy. It's just like everything out of the sexual assault playbook just gets worse and worse and worse. I mean, eventually we see him with his pants off and he's smoking a cigarette. And, he's going scoozy. So it's really quite the sight to behold.
Scusi. Oh, no. Mi scusi. What?
Big tunnel.
Scottie, is that you? Who's in it? Who's touching me? Scottie! Oh! Mi scusi.
So they escape from Handsy Freddy finally, and they exit the train, and they discover they're in Crans-sur-Mer, which is on the French Riviera, and there's a famous nude beach there, which they decide to go check out. And again, it's pretty well-known moment from this movie. So the boys they go up, they're separated from Jenny and somehow, and they go up to the beach, hoping to see just a gaggle of naked women, and then discover that it's nothing but a huge old waggling wiener fest. Just a bunch of guys like them who have come and struck out. So then we see Jenny come up on the beach, and this is where we get to see Michelle Trachtenberg. They have her dressed very dowdy at first. She's wearing like a this very severe looking kind of granny sweater. It's sky blue. It covers her entire body almost from head to toe. And she has a matching bucket hat on, like a sun hat. And so she takes off her hat and she takes off the sweater, shakes out, and sure, this is why they did this, right? To get the scene. Like, she takes off the hat very slowly and shakes out her long, luscious hair and then pulls off the sweater and like slowly the camera like pans up and like slowly reveals her beautiful, like gorgeous, perfect body. And Cooper just almost like turns into like a hound dog. You can almost see him like panting. And he's like, oh my gosh, I guess she is a girl after all. And unfortunately all the other guys on the beach realize that at the same time as well. And so the foursome have to like hightail it out of there immediately, which is rather like, there's a lot of creepy implications there. Yeah. If you know what I mean. You can just imagine like, gosh, thank God they like made it out of there is all I can say. Like, thank goodness they got away from that beach in one piece. Oof, my 41-year-old heart is beating for those little 18-year-olds. I'm just scared. But anywho, so after the beach, they get to Amsterdam next. And Cooper picks up a flyer for Club Vandersucks with 3 X's. And he's like, I'm going to go here. Yeah, I'll see y'all in the morning. Jenny and Scottie go to a bakery and they eat an entire plate of groovy cakes. Guys, pace yourselves. Golly, kids, I can't believe it. So Jamie, meanwhile, goes to a camera store because he needs a new camera. A new battery for his camera. And while he's there, the woman, the clerk, just starts flirting with him. She just goes, oh, you're so sexy American and your camera so beautiful. Why don't you just come out back and I suck your dick? I mean, that's not the exact dialogue, but it's basically the dialogue. And so, yeah, they just go out back and she just sucks his dick because I guess everyone in Amsterdam is horny all the time. And so while this is happening, Diedrich Bader from Drew Carey comes up behind him with a knife. He's like, I will rob you. And because Jamie's having such a good time, he just rips off his money belt with all the money and all the passports. He goes, here, take it. Oh, I don't care. And the burglar goes, great, thanks, and just takes off into the night. And so, yeah. And so while this is happening, Jenny and Scottie are at the club. They've eaten all the brownies. They're starting to have a psychedelic experience. Jenny is starting to feel like, oh my, they're like seeing tunnel vision. She's starting to feel like, oh my gosh, I'm having the munchies. She goes and grabs a plate of food from another patron. Scottie starts to freak out. He like takes off his shirt and he starts yelling that he's got a bad batch of hash brownies. Then the owner of the bakery comes over and he says, hey, these aren't hash brownies. We're just a simple Dutch bakery. Which, I mean, for my money, like truly one of the best jokes like in the movie, if not like ever. I mean, this is just like just phenomenal. Like truly, it's just so good. So, and meanwhile, poor Cooper, he's at Club Vandersex, which he never ever should have gone to. He's there and he's with Lucy Lawless, Xena the Warrior Princess herself. She is the head dominatrix, and she brings out all these women. He thinks he's going to have a grand old time, surrounded by these beautiful women. But unfortunately for him, he gets strapped, handcuffed to this giant rack, and these 2 men, burly men in leather aprons, come out, electrocute his testicles and nipples, and then sodomize him with what looks like a vacuum cleaner from the 1960s. Like, it's just Oh gosh, it's very brutal. That poor guy. I read that apparently there was a deleted scene, an Amsterdam deleted scene where Cooper went into the Anne Frank Museum and appeared to accidentally be sodomizing the Anne Frank mannequin in front of one of her living relatives. But Steven Spielberg himself, who is, someone, I can't remember what his position is with DreamWorks right now, but he's got some influence with that company. But yeah, he said to Alex and David, hey, I love the scene, but you're gonna have to cut it because my name is literally on the Anne Frank Museum. And wow, like my response to that is, boy, capitalism. Is there anything it can't ruin? Like, really? No. Clearly that's a joke, but yeah, that would be really, like, I wonder if that's on one of the DVDs. I truly, I don't know. I didn't watch, any kind of extra like that. So moving on, our heroes leave Amsterdam. So when they leave, they're forced to hitchhike because Jamie got robbed and so they don't have any money left. All they have is the change in their pockets, which adds up to $1.83. So they end up hitchhiking with this terrifying guy who drives a truck. He speaks German. Scottie badly speaks German and thinks that he's going to Berlin, but he's not going anywhere near Berlin. He's got a shady history with Berlin, it turns out. It involves stabbing a woman and sodomizing a horse, let's just say. So this guy does not take them to Berlin. He, in fact, drops them off in Bratislava. So, as I said, they have $1.83. And they're like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? Well, it turns out $1.83 will buy them a fancy dinner at a huge hotel, first class treatment from servants and and a whole lot more, bottle service. So I looked this up. It turns out that in 2004, when this movie would have been set, Slovakia was still using the krona. They had not switched over to the euro. They switched over in 2008. So the approximate exchange rate for $1 to 1 krona in 2004 was 33 krona to $1. So they had almost $2. So I would guess they've had about 60 krona. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's enough to buy you dinner and drinks and hotel. I don't know. I've still got the claims adjuster brain here. I'm just always trying to analyze the market. You see, capitalism is there anything you can't ruin? But so after they go to dinner, they realize they have 27 cents left, and they go out to a club where they drink absinthe. The boys do, and they hallucinate the Green Fairy, who's played by the actor Steve Heitner, and he also plays Banya on Seinfeld, which is kind of cool because the guys wrote Seinfeld, so they brought him in. And meanwhile, Jenny reunites with that handsome stranger that she met at the train station. So he brings her off in the corner to woo her with promises of sailing around the Mediterranean and, just being together all day, careless whispers. But then he says, oh, my wife makes the best sangria. So, she's got some principles. And so she storms off in a huff and she meets up with the guys. She takes a big swig of the absinthe. They all hit the dance floor. Scottie Doesn't Know is playing. It's the dubstep remix or, whatever. It was big back in 2004. And, next thing you know, Cooper and Scottie are sitting on the sidelines and they see Jamie and Jenny making out with each other. Yeah, they are the worst twins ever. It's, pretty disgusting. And they realize it. They're kissing each other. They pull back and they realize it and they start screaming. And it's a pretty gruesomely fantastic scene. So the next morning, while everyone's recovering, they're humiliated as well as hungover. Cooper keeps giving them a hard time, and eventually he, gets tackled by Jamie. Jamie's so pissed off, he just like punches him in the face. While they're brawling, this guy pulls up. This man just pulls up like a fairy godmother. He pulls up in a Dukes of Hazzard style car. It's an orange car with a number 7 on the side. And he goes, you want to go to Berlin? I take you to Berlin. And so, great. Timing could not be better. So they hop in the car and they get to Berlin. And once they arrive in Berlin, Scottie and Cooper go to Mika's apartment while Jamie and Jenny wait outside. God knows what they talked about. So Scottie and Cooper get up to the apartment, and once they get there, they meet not Mika, but Mika's dad. And Mika's dad lets them know that Mika's not there. She's actually left for the summer. She's enrolled in a summer at sea program, leaving from Rome. And while he's explaining this to Scottie, Mika's little brother, he's this tiny little blonde, white-skinned boy. He's standing behind them, playing with some crayons, and he draws a black little Hitler mustache on his face. Cooper sees this happening, and then the kid starts goose-stepping around the apartment. Now, when I was younger, I thought this was pretty funny. It was definitely funny. I'm sure when they wrote it, it slapped in the writer's room and everything. But I must say, in 2020, watching this in America in 2026, didn't really hit, right? Just for obvious reasons. I mean, just in Germany, far less fascist than America right now. What a turn of events. But so yeah, they hear that Mika's in Rome, and they say, okay, well, we need to go to Rome. Of course, the problem is they're out of money now. It turns out that Jamie has sold his camera. He sold the Leica, his precious Leica, to get the money to go to Rome. And once they arrive, they get into the basilica right away, and they start looking for Mika. So Jamie is mistaken for a tour guide, and he and Jenny go off to lead a tour, while Scottie and Cooper continue to look for Mika. Scottie and Cooper end up upstairs in the basilica. They're in some private apartments, and Cooper ends up ringing the bell of San Marco because he's just being a dick. He's just, oh, hey, what's this dude? He rings it. The bell of San Marco lets everyone know that the Pope has died. So, great job, Cooper. You just set off a world catastrophe. So outside, there's an Italian man who goes, oh, the Pope is dead. And back inside the basilica, they go into this other room, Scottie and Cooper. This is where the Pope clothes, like that. It's almost like the Pope's wardrobe room, I guess. And so Cooper is being a complete fucking asshole. He just puts on the Pope hat and goes, look, I'm the freaking Pope. I mean, he's just acting like an 18-year-old douchebag, right? And he just starts running around the room. Scottie's like, hey, stop. He's chasing him, trying to get him to stop. Cooper puts a Pope hat on Scottie at some point, and then Cooper stands over by some candles. He's just being a little idiot, ugh. And the candles light the Pope hat on fire. And Scottie's like, no, the hat's on fire. And Cooper's like, I know, the hat is on fire. And Scottie's like, no, it's really on fire. And so Cooper freaks out. He pulls the hat off, and they throw it into the nearby fireplace, and the hat sends up white smoke out of the basilica, and that tells everyone looks up, and what that signals is that the College of Cardinals or the conclave, I should say, didn't we all just learn that word recently? But yeah, the conclave has elected a new pope, and so outside the whole world is just at a standstill with this shocking news. And so inside, these two idiots are still just clowning around. Now, outside on the balcony, Scottie can see Mika. He can see her walking around. So he like runs to the balcony, and as he's running out there in his haste to get to the balcony, he gets wrapped up in the curtains, like these fine silky curtains, just like tie him up, and he pulls them off along with the curtain rod. Once he gets outside of the basilica and into the onto the edge of the balcony, he is completely like enfolded in the curtains, still wearing that stupid Pope hat, holding the curtain rod, standing on the edge of the balcony. Everybody standing outside looks up, and someone shouts, "It's the new Pope!" And by God, it certainly does look like he is the new Pope. Meanwhile, the real Pope is watching on TV going, "What's the hell?" It's just fantastic. But yeah, so he sees Mika, and he tears off the fake Pope costume and slides down a banner and gets off of the balcony down to the crowd, runs over to her, and he shouts, "Mika, Mika, it's me." The Swiss guards threaten to stop him for, obviously he's in big trouble, right, for a second. But thankfully, his old buddies from the Manchester United just, again, randomly show up. This movie is full of just people randomly showing up, which you got to appreciate about like a hard comedy, right? It doesn't take a lot of like leaps of imagination to be like, oh, okay, yeah, sure, why not? But yeah, so they just come, they're just at the Vatican for no reason, and they just come and beat up the Swiss guard and save his ass. But yeah, so he's saved by them, and he gets to talk to Mika, and he's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry about that email, but I'm in love with you." And she doesn't say anything, but then the next scene, it cuts to them in a church confessional booth, fucking their brains out. And yeah, I'm not sure if this was in the theatrical version, because I didn't see it in the theater, but it's most certainly in the unrated version. It's quite a quite a graphic scene, both visually and also just conceptually too, I guess. So that happens. They finish up somehow, and after that's done, everyone's getting wrapped up. Jamie, one of the twins, he ends up meeting Arthur Fromer, who wrote that guidebook, and Fromer offers him a job. He was actually on the tour that Jamie was giving of the Vatican, and was like, "Hey, I was so impressed by you. Why don't you come work for me?" Again, fantastic. Couldn't have worked out better. So Jamie is going to stay in Europe, and Jenny, Cooper, and Scottie will all be heading back to America. Meanwhile, Mika is going to complete her summer at sea, and Scottie says goodbye to her. Sadly, they agree to keep writing to each other. So they get on the plane, and then Jenny and Cooper join the Mile High Club. They lament the fact that they are the only two people that didn't get to have crazy European sex, and so they cement their attraction to each other in the bathroom of the plane going home. With Cooper going, "This still counts as Europe, right?" Yeah, I guess that's the most important thing. But so the film concludes with leaping forward several months later. We see Scottie in his college dorm room. He's on the phone with Cooper, who is now dating Jenny, although, he's still being a dick about it, of course. He's like, "Oh, Jenny who?" And Jenny's like, "Me." It hits him on the head. Good for you, girl. And so they're waiting for Scottie's roommate to show up. Scottie's on the phone. He's like, "Yeah, I don't know when he's coming." And then, suddenly there's a knock on the door, and who is it? But it's Mika. And Scottie's like, "Oh my gosh, what are you doing here?" And she's like, "I'm going to college." And he's like, "Oh my gosh, what are you talking about?" And she's like, "They put me in this room. I guess they thought I was a guy." And the film ends with them kissing, and that's it. El fin. Where are they now? Well, Scott Meklowitz is still acting. He was in a movie in 2025. He posts a lot on Instagram about Eurotrip. He's really leaned into the iconic nature of the movie. He's a dad now. So good for him. It seems like he's really thriving. Jacob Pitts got married to a Slovakian woman, and they lived together in Prague, which is so interesting. I mean, they had to have met or, connected at some point while he was making this movie. It just seems, so logical. And Travis Wester, he's the actor that played Jamie. He's a paralegal now. He works for a law firm that represents children's rights. And when I found that out, that was just so touching. I mean, I can only imagine Jamie taking that kind of career pivot as well. It's just, I mean, he was so like mature and like adult and detail oriented and compassionate too. Right. So like good for him. What a fantastic move to make in his life. Now, I said I was going to talk more about Jessica Bors. She's the actress that played Mika. She's a German soap star, and she's also a singer. Her name is not spelled this way in the credits for Eurotrip, but she does spell her name with an umlaut in some publications that I saw, and that actually made me think that there was a missed opportunity here, that the Eurotrip, they could have spelled it with an umlaut, like over the O. So, oh well, maybe for the sequel. But so, I read an interview with her, and she said that she started acting and singing when she was 13. And she got her first record deal when she was 16. She sings for a group called Nova Space, which mostly covers 80s songs. So I really like this quote from her. She said, the greatest songs were written in the 70s and 80s. Teenagers who are like 12 to 13 years old don't even know these songs. I thought it'd be good to bring them back, but in a new style. So, yeah, I mean, and so here, I just want to play you like a little bit of her music.
If you're lost, you can look and you will find me. Time after time. If you fall, I will catch you, I'll be waiting. Time after time. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me. Time after time. If you fall, I will catch you, I'll be waiting. Time after time.
Also, from the same interview, I thought this kind of tickled me. The interviewer asked her what American music she likes, and she says, I love the music of Erykah Badu and Robbie Williams. I mean, he's from the UK, but that's all right. I love him when he does live concerts. I like old stuff like Aretha Franklin and Al Green. I like anything. And okay, all right. This really, really tickled me. She said, I was into Limp Bizkit once in my car. I mean, wow. Okay, like I know English is not her first language, and I'm confident what she means is like, she was probably driving or like in a friend's car or something, and it came on, and she was like, oh yeah, this is cool, but it's just like, it just tickles me. It's just such a funny way to say it. It just makes me think like, hey, Fred Durst, get out of my dreams and into my car, right? Or under my car, maybe. But yeah, so that's Jessica Bors, and that's Eurotrip, you guys. Thank you so much for listening. Before I go, I just wanted to tell you a little bit about my Eurotrip. It was not nearly as exciting as this one, but I studied abroad in 2007. I lived in London, but I also traveled to Paris, Amsterdam, and Rome. Did not get to visit Berlin or Bratislava, sadly for me, but it was a fun time. And here's a picture of if you're watching on YouTube, here's a picture of little baby Emma cat. This is me in Venice. I was hoping I had a picture of me in Rome so I could match the movie, but no such luck. It's the best we can do. So here's me in Venice, not wearing a Pope outfit. So thank you guys so much for listening. Had a great time. If you have any questions or comments or, anything, please leave them here. And please listen, subscribe, rate, review, all that good stuff. I love y'all. Take care. Bye-bye.